What is up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the Area Stat Leaders with me, Travis Big League Berardi, brought to you by Pinnacle Building Services. If you need your business cleaned, they will do the job right and well, and it will be spick and span by the time they are done. We're almost done, by the way, with the high school football regular season. 8 weeks in the books. A lot of teams still vying for playoff positioning. Some teams already locking up positioning, and it's because of great performances that you will see here in our top 10 area passing, receiving, and rushing leaders. Some highlights. The Shelby Whippets have already clinched a bye. Hillsdale's already clinched a playoff berth and a top 8 spot. Monroeville's clinched a playoff berth. You got so many other teams. Galleon's just about to clinch a bye as well. Colonel Crawford's up there. Mohawk, Western Reserve, Cary Baby. They're getting in there as well. So a lot of teams and a lot because of our area leaders. And let's get right into things and take a look first at our area passing leaders. And let's start at number 10. Mohawks. Andon Klaus remains in the top 10. 1,261 passing yards on 68 completions and 14 touchdowns, just under 19 yards per completion. At number 9, a team that's trying to get into the postseason, that's the St. Paul Flyers. Grant Coonley in at number 9 this week. 90 completions, 1,308 yards, and 8 touchdowns for him. St. Paul has a couple big games coming up that could put them into the postseason. They'll need to go off these next 2 weeks if they want to do so. At number 8, Braden Parsons of West Holmes, exactly at 1,400 passing yards. Only needed 99 completions, however, to do so. 15 touchdowns for him. At number 7, Tanner Miley of the Northmore Golden Knights. A tough loss against Mount Gilead. He had a couple touchdown passes in the second half, had a chance at the 2-point conversion, but nobody was open. He got sacked, but he is still putting up big numbers. The Golden Knights are going to have to do a lot, win out, and then get a lot of help if they want to make it into the postseason. But Tanner Miley's done his job so far this season. 1,446 pass yards on 131 completions and 15 touchdowns. Now to the River Valley Vikings and Mr. Chase Smith. Chase in at number 6, 121 completions, just under 1,500 passing yards and 14 touchdowns. River Valley needs to do some things here in the last couple of weeks if they want to get into the postseason. I believe they have Clear Fork coming up here, which could help them out a lot. Now to the top 5. Cale Lewis didn't have to do a lot of passing last week. That's why he's dropped down from number 3. Owen Sloan, which you will see in the rushing leaders once again, is the reason why he didn't have to do much. He actually ran in a touchdown as well. Cale Lewis didn't have to do as much, but he still sits at 5th. 1,486 pass yards, 96 completions, 18 total touchdowns. Kind of like what we saw with A.J. Bauer last year in the fact that he was done after a half, maybe after a half and one possession into the third quarter. That's happened a lot for Hillsdale's. They've had a lot of running clock victories. So despite even that, he's almost to 1,500 passing yards and just outside the top 3. So phenomenal for him. Another team that I said in the beginning, Galleon, playing for a top 4 seed in a bye in D4 Region 14, which is stacked. That's Aiden Schmidt of Galleon. 1,505 passing yards, 83 completions only to do so. Big play quarterback we have here. 15 touchdowns for him. Now to the top 3, and at number 3 is Jax Lester, dropping down a spot from the last couple of weeks. I'll tell you why here in a moment. 119 completions, 1,541 pass yards, 18 touchdowns. East Knox has played some tough competition the last few weeks, and that's why he's kind of dropped down from that number 1 spot he had a few weeks ago, but he is still putting up big numbers in his senior season. Don't have video for Mr. Bernhard, but we got to show him some pictures that Doug Hayden sent us last week. 106 completions, 1,616 yards for Nathan Bernhard, and 18 touchdowns as well. As the Ashland Arrows are fighting for the number 1 overall seed in D2 Region 7, he's continuing to rewrite the history books and has a chance by the end of the year to finish off all of the passing marks in Ashland football history. And our number 1 quarterback, once again, are you surprised? I will not be surprised if this guy is not a Mr. Football candidate and a top 3 finisher in the voting for Mr. Football. He will get my vote this year. That is Braden DeVito. 117 completions, almost 1,900 yards. He's up 228 yards on Bernhard. 22 total touchdowns. That's not even counting his running right now for Mr. Braden DeVito. So there are your top 10 passing leaders. Can Bernhard keep moving up the list? Can he catch Braden? I don't think he will, but it'll be worth a shot just to look. It'll be fun the way they have to finish off Ashland. Big matchup coming up next Friday night to finish off the season, most likely for the OCC championship, as they will take on Lexington, the last 2 teams remaining undefeated in the OCC. Always talk about our quarterbacks that throw the ball. Who's the ones that catch it to help them complete the big plays and get those touchdowns? It is time to look at the receiving leaders. And let us start at number 10. We had our number 10 passer, Aiden Klaus from Mohawk. We have our number 10 receiver, Brent Kieran from Mohawk as well. 515 receiving yards on 30 catches, 6 touchdowns. A lot of shifting going through here. We did have another Mohawk player that was in the top 10. Just dropped out, though, because we had our lone player. We had 1 player out of all 3 of our leaders' top 10 jump in for the first time in a couple of weeks. Everybody else stayed there and shifted around. So that is why only 1 Mohawk player in there this week. At number 9 for the Galleon Tigers, it's Jacob Chambers. 20 catches, 523 yards, 6 touchdowns. He is one of those big play receivers that doesn't need to do much to get open. He is just a stud out there for the Tigers, who, like I said, once again with Shelby, looking to lock up the top 2 seeds. 2 MOAC squads looking to lock up the top 2 seeds in D4, Region 14. Now to number 8, Gabe Baith. He is now in. Actually, I apologize. 2 players jumped in. 1 for the first time. Gabe Baith comes in as O'Brien is replaced by another Ashland Arrow. Gabe Baith, 36 catches, 523 yards as well, with Jacob Chambers, and 2 total touchdowns for him. Now to our number 7 receiver. He's back in the top 10 this week. It is Logan Moss of Calvert. 28 catches, 559 yards, and 8 touchdowns for him for the Calvert Senecas, as they have a chance still. They got to win out, though. They have a couple big games coming up. If they win out, they have a chance of making the postseason. Not what they've expected so far down at Tiffin, but still have a chance. That's all you need right now in the last couple of weeks. Number 6 receiver, Josh Heilman of Upper Sandusky, continues to sit around that spot in the middle of the lineup. 30 catches, 596 receiving yards, and 6 touchdowns. Now to our number 5 team, who helped Western Reserve get a huge victory over Crestview on Friday night, Braxton Freilich. Braxton, with the quarterback back in for the first time since week 1, big plays all over the field for him. 33 catches, 612 yards, 7 touchdowns, a few of them coming on Friday night, as Western Reserve still has a chance at the Firelands Conference Championship and hosting a round 1 playoff game in week number 11. Now to number 4, Parker Weithman of the Colonel Crawford Eagles. 31 catches, 621 receiving yards, 7 touchdowns, as they look to bounce back from their loss at Cary that put the Blue Devils alone in first place in the Northern 10. Crawford's still playing for a top 4 spot in their region. Speaking of that region, the Northmore Golden Knights have to get some work done and have to get some help if they want to make it back into the postseason. Connor Stockdale could be one of the players that help them do that. 45 catches, 623 yards, 8 touchdowns, as he breaks into the top 3 for the first time this season in North Central Ohio. Connor Stockdale, the big play senior this year for the Golden Knights, the leader in the KMAC in receiving. Number 2, Paxton Flores. He is just trying to boost those numbers over the last 2 weeks because Willard officially eliminated from playoff contention this season, but still, he can look to lock up the number 2 spot, because our number 1 spot, I mean, I don't think it's going to be close, because Brady Bowman continues to be phenomenal this year. 48 catches, 974 yards, 14 touchdowns, almost a 300-yard difference between number 1 and number 2, because Brady Bowman and Mr. DeVito have just continued to dominate their opponents and dominate opponents' secondaries for the Shelby Whippets. Number 1 in Division 4, number 1 in Division 4 Region 14. They're already getting a break in Week 11. They've clinched a top 4 spot. Most likely will clinch the number 1 seed with a win, I believe, this week. So there are your passing leaders. There are your receiving leaders. We will take a look at our rushing leaders right after this, after we take a timeout for a word from our sponsor, Pinnacle Building Services.
I didn't think our staff would even notice that we switched cleaning companies, but they did right away. They noticed that the office was cleaner, that things were bright, more vibrant, and that created a more positive working environment for us. There's always a potential to spread illness if our building isn't as clean as it possibly could be. Having Pinnacle in our building to make sure that it's as clean and safe and healthy as it can be helps us take the best care of our patients. It's family owned and operated, they're local, which means a lot to us.
Thank you once again, Pinnacle Building Services, for sponsoring this year's area stat leaders for high school football, passing, receiving, and our final statistical top 10 of the day, our rushing leaders, the Bell Cows, this year. At number 10, it is Cy Wallace of the Danville Blue Devils. The Blue Devils looking to get that home game on that turf you see right there, Tough Street Stadium. He has 110 carries, 863 yards, and 9 touchdowns for the Blue Devils. They get a big one coming up against Fredericktown, and then after that, they get Devil Dog against East Knox. So a win this week, I believe, will clinch a Week 11 home game at Tough Street Stadium. Our number 9 rusher, Brody Bowman of the West Holmes Knights, 138 carries, 869 rush yards, 7 touchdowns. We have 2 Centerburg Trojans once again in the top 10, the tandem of Blaine Ball and Miles Marshall. Blaine Ball sits at number 8, 84 carries only to get 875 rush yards. The quarterback has a 10.4 yards per carry mark. That leads everybody in the top 10. He also has 9 rushing touchdowns to go for his, along with his many passing touchdowns on the season. Landon Wiggle from Western Reserve at number 7, 144 carries, 926 yards, 21 touchdowns. He also helped Western Reserve knock off Crestview to keep them alive in the Firelands Conference race and keep them alive for a home game in week number 11. Another team that most likely could get a bye in week 11 is the Mohawk Warriors and Caden Bish. If they can beat Cary this week to tie them with Cary and Crawford for the top of the Northern 10 lead, if they can knock them off, Caden Bish would be a big reason why. 94 carries, 940 yards rushing. Anybody can do that math. That's 10 yards per carry, 17 touchdowns for him. I just talked about Crawford needing Mohawk to win to get back at top of the Northern 10 standings. Well, Connor McMichael, they need to win out. They are very favored in those 2 games as well. 122 carries, 977 yards. He's going to have another 1,000-yard rushing year. 14 touchdowns. Our number 4 rusher, we talked about Ball. Let's talk about Miles Marshall from the Trojans. 107 carries, 989 rush yards, 17 touchdowns, as the Trojans will have a big one in 2 weeks against Fredericktown. Freddie Berg for not only what would be a KMAC championship probably, but also the number 1 overall seed in D6 Region 23. You got Ball and Marshall running. If the pass game can get going, the defense can get going like it has been, that is going to be the case. And it looks like Miles Marshall is going to go well over 1,000 yards once again as well. Now to the top 3, and the top 3 has pretty much stayed like it was last week. Our number 3 rusher is Owen Sloan. He had a big game against Northwestern. He gets over 1,000 yards rushing for the season. He's had 118 carries, 1,023 yards, and 15 touchdowns. Our number 2 rusher is looking to get his team a bye in week number 11, and that is Carson Barnum, the human bowling ball from the Mount Gilead Indians. 224 carries, over 1,300 yards at 1,307, and 13 total touchdowns for him. The only question now left is, can he catch Wyatt Denny? They both have a big bump over Owen Sloan, a big difference of about 300 yards. So it will be Wyatt Denny or Carson Barnum that finishes as our rushing champion. Barnum has a little bit to catch. He has 108 yards to catch, but you never know what could happen in the final 2 weeks of the regular season. So Barnum at 2, Wyatt Denny as the number 1 rusher once again here in North Central Ohio from the Cardington Pirates. 233 carries, 1,415 yards, and 12 touchdowns. So there you have it. There are our area rushing, receiving, and passing leaders through week 8 of the regular season. A lot of 1,000-yard performers already this year, and we'll see if we can lock up everybody. Can we get 10 in each category to reach over 1,000 yards? I don't think receiving we will. Could with rushing, we could with passing. So that'll be something to look forward to. It'll be something to look forward to. Can anybody break into the top 10 one more time? Can somebody make the big jump to the top? Or are we going to have 2 Shelby Whippets and a K-Mac running back that finishes as the champ? We'll find out. 2 more episodes of these to go. 2 more weeks of the regular season as well. But that'll do it for me. I am Travis Big League Berardi, signing off from OH Report Headquarters East.